Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk universe mode, we're going to talk MyRise, and more. I got a ton of details that I'm excited to talk to you guys. Let's get into the episode. Let's have some fun right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to Assemble. I'm Matt. Great to have you here on the show. Let's talk universe mode, MyRise, MyFactions, a little bit of everything today on the show. There's a few little details when it comes to universe mode that we want to make mention of, and there's also been some information that's come out from the Microsoft storefront for just some advertising for pre-ordering the game that give us a little bit of details and a little bit of context for some of the different modes in 2K22. When it comes to universe mode, we got the following. Universe mode includes both the classic mode and superstar mode sub-modes. In superstar mode, players will follow their superstar through matches each week, developing rivalries, starting a tag team, creating a custom match, and competing in a championship match. So this is very well known that 2K, when it comes to universe mode, the difference this year is going to be superstar mode. Putting a singular focus, or the ability to put a singular focus on one superstar throughout your entire sandbox universe of WWE. You can toggle between regular traditional universe mode and superstar mode where you focus on one superstar like in AJ Styles. 2K has really not talked about universe mode like at all. They haven't alluded to any new cutscenes. They haven't talked about any other additional features or changes other than we know we have the aesthetic upgrade, it got a fresh coat of paint, and we have this superstar mode that's going to be in this game. Now for me, and let me know in the comments what you guys think, but for me, I'm excited about having this. Universe mode has been there for a couple of years now. It kind of is what it is. I enjoy it for the most part. I do wish that it was more flushed out. I do wish that we had more cutscenes made available, that we could customize things a little bit more in that regard. But I do really enjoy the mode. It gives me the most replayability, and I'm going to be curious this year to see how it stacks up for my time anyways, between universe mode and how much time I spend between that and GM mode. Now Lionel Jinx, the creative director over at 2K, actually did have a quote. Smack Talks pulled this themselves from a developer call when it comes to universe mode. So let's take a look. Universe, I always say, is like God mode, where you have full control over the entire show that you're putting on. The full customization suite is at your disposal. From shows to superstars, championships, all of that, and you can set up rivalries. The one addition that we made this year was Superstar mode, where you can choose a superstar. To me, it's like a player lock, where if you want to be AJ and I'm just playing as AJ, I don't care what else happens and I just want to experience that story. We have that as a new addition to Universe. So does Universe mode excite you this year? Is having that player lock, that focus on a singular superstar, your Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, does that excite you and give you more longevity when it comes to the mode itself? Now, as we're talking about game modes today, let's look at more of this advertising that came out around 2K22. And let's take a look at Creation Suite, because it confirms a few things that probably assume are in the game, but it's nice to know that they're going to be there. First up in Creation Suite, they say that the industry-leading Creation Suite returns with all new cross-platform community creations. Thank God, because, oh man, like, we've been waiting years to be able to have an Xbox and a PlayStation creation all mingling together. It's a beautiful thing. A featured creator section that highlights a player and their content, community creation upvoting, ranked mode, a create a superstar wizard for quicker creation, and gimmick creator. The highlights here are create an arena, create a superstar, create a championship, and money in the bank. Now, a couple of key notes here. One, they're not adding in create a championship after the fact. It's coming day and date. That's exciting. They flubbed that on 2K20. Money in the bank is the create a money in the bank that we've had in the previous games. When they say create a gimmick, I think that this is alluding to the different personas that Lionel Jinx has mentioned in different developer calls and interviews, where you're going to be able to create your superstar and give them those different personas of like a fighter, movie star, things like that, to give them more personality when you are creating them and then taking them through MyRise. Now they've added another thing in here, ranked mode for the Creation Suite. So this could mean that we are going to see ranked creators, ranked creations in the Community Creation Suite. I don't know how we feel about that. I think on one hand, it's great. It's going to be able to popularize a lot of different creator content out there, from arenas to Money in the Bank championships, superstar threads, all of this stuff. So people that are doing excellent work in the community, I guess we're going to see them ranked even higher there. My only concern would be that, do we still get the ability to really flush out other creators and get them highlighted and showcased too? but I think a ranked mode is kind of interesting to be able to have in there. Now, as we take our creative superstar, we give them all their threads and gimmicks and personas, then we switch over to MyRise. And MyRise is something, once again, 2K has yet to really divulge any real information for us, and hopefully we're going to get some this week. The game comes out in like 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, and we are still just out there, aren't we? Just paddling away, not knowing what the heck's coming down the river. MyRise is a very interesting mode because Lionel Jinx and Christina Pham both alluded in previous developer interviews and stuff where they said that, and I'm paraphrasing here, they mentioned that for MyRise, we obviously have your male superstar MyRise career and you have the female superstar career mode. But within that, Lionel Jinx did say in a previous interview that you can expect to have like 25 hours worth of story mode for each. So we're looking at about 50 hours worth of playthrough for both male, female created superstars combined. That's pretty cool. That's pretty extensive. This little advertising marketing clip says the following about MyRise too. Create your own journey and legacy with branching narratives featuring over 200 player stories, unique male and female storylines for the first time in franchise history, and new simultaneous quests. So this gives me some optimism and some hope, and really I am excited about MyRise because career mode has been something that I flip-flop on where I'm like, it's not done well, or it looks very, very last gen. I like 2K19, 2K20, like I just could not, I don't like it very much. I've always wanted more from it. I've always wanted more incentive to go through these storylines, and hopefully they are making it a little bit more focused and streamlined and pushing it a little bit more forward. If we're gonna get things like simultaneous quests, so where they're gonna have us doing kind of like maybe minigame or missions within MyRise, like go and talk to X number of superstars or have this type of match or try to pull off certain things in this match, that stuff's really cool. That's a hook that I can get into. Having 200 playable stories, player stories in there, that is great. That's a lot of different narratives, different story outline threads. That makes it refreshing that even if we wanted to play it multiple times, we're probably going to be able to get a lot out of it, where it's not going to just be I did it once and I don't need to replay it again. And because they are separating it male and female storylines, this also gives me hope and gets me excited that my female superstar is not necessarily going to run into the exact same dialogue, the exact same scenarios with the same superstars as the male created superstar would. So MyRise is looking good. I'm excited to see how flushed out this is. And if it is going to be about 25 hours per superstar for my creations, I'm excited for that because that's a big investment. That's got me excited. And the last up is going to be MyFaction mode. It's going to be like your little tiny collector card situation with virtual currency. They're going to want us to pump money into, and I want to know how this thing is going to play out. The little advertisement that they have here says the following. MyFaction is a brand new franchise first, single player collectible card game, meta layer wrapped around traditional WWE 2K series gameplay. That's a mouthful of a sentence, isn't it? Players compete to collect superstar cards, battle with those cards, striving to upgrade their faction. And they do give you a little bit of a glimpse of what this looks like when you have the men's division, the women's division cards in there, where you can see Carmella, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Bayley cards in there, their superstar rating, whether they're gold cards or silver cards. Same on the men's side. You got Dominic Mysterio in there with a bronze card of 54. You got Otis over there, and you got Dolph Ziggler. And then we can see side plates, and there's a payback, their style, and contracts. This has me interested to see what these side plates are going to be. Clearly, they're going to be an additional add-on for MyFactions mode, probably to give us, I'm gonna guess, just little boosts within this MyFactions card game, being able to add on perks or anything like that. That's my guess here, is that we're gonna add on additional things to give us a leg up. We're going through these card game collections. But I wonder, am I gonna go through and actually have matches, or am I just gonna be doing kind of like Supercard? It sounds more like it's on the side of Supercard here, where it's gonna be just collecting cards, creating your faction of different cards that you collect, and then putting them through a quote match to go up against other cards. I don't know how I feel about this. We're not gonna know until we really get our hands on it. It's another addition to the game, which is awesome. But if it's wrapped all around with virtual currency and having to dump dollars into this thing to collect these cards, I'm not sure how worth it it's going to be for players. But we'll have to wait and see. And the last thing I want to mention today on the show is what is on the thumbnail. The NWO, they showed a screenshot of all 4 members of the NWO coming out together. I wanted to mention this because it looks like we're actually going to be able to have our full stable and having 4-person entrances, 4-person players coming out, which is great because we can redo things like DX and NWO and Evolution and the 4 Horsemen. We can do a lot of different 4-person stables and get them to come out together. This has always been a big drawback for me, is that you can only have trios coming out. If this is the case, it's awesome. It's an awesome addition. I love building factions. I love multi-man matches. If I'm gonna have a 4-on-4 match, I want to be able to have my whole faction come out together. Trios has been great, but at this point, and for the amount of years that we have had these games, we've got to be able to take it up a notch, and we should be able, with all of the specs and the tech that we have in newer consoles, we should be able to get 4 superstars coming out together. If I am able to have all the NWO come out together, then I'm gonna be a happy man. Let me know in the comments below, what are you excited for? Which one of these modes has got y'all tingling and making you feel excited? And let me know, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.